Welcome back to Mind Your Biz. My name is Seth, and today on the Creator Highlight, I have the great fortune and pleasure of being able to interview Alyssa Moreno from the JustNFTs project. We met in Las Vegas under the coolest of circumstances, one of the coolest, most intimate NFT shows that and DeFi shows I've been able to go to in quite a while. So we had a lot of opportunity to see each other, be on panels, to be able to get a lot more in-person time with the presentation group and with the panelists that were there. And Alyssa, I've been threatening to finally get back and chat with you and the rest of the Just NFT group, I think since NFT Expoverse in LA. And I'm glad we're finally able to get this going. So Alyssa, welcome to Mind Your Biz.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm super, super excited. I know my CEO, Ryan, my partner, he's kind of upset that I get to do this interview, but oh well, life happens.
Yeah, I think Ryan was the one that tagged me and Tron Black on Twitter about like, hey, this guy helped with mining Ravencoin. True story.
Actually, no, that was my husband, Xander.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. There you go. So the Just NFTs crew is you guys roll deep then. That's great. Yeah, well, let's do this. Let's jump back, and I apologize for the interruption there. Let's give my audience that doesn't know you, that haven't met you or Xander or Ryan, let's give them kind of a profile of who Alyssa is in like 30 seconds. What's the nutshell view of you?
So nutshell of me is I'm a mom with a chronic illness who is the chief marketing officer for JustNFTs, and I love crypto, and this gives me an opportunity to stay home with my babies.
That's super cool. Yeah. So yeah, love hearing that. Love hearing that crypto is changing lives, and it sounds like the way that it's changing your life for the better is that it allows you to stay at home. That's super cool. Without doxing, you want me asking how old is your child, roughly?
So I actually have two. So I have a 4-year-old. She'll be 5 in March, and then I have a 2.5-year-old who's actually autistic, nonverbal. So I've got two little ones.
Got it. That's both exciting and a lot of work. Without getting too personal, I've got two that are on the spectrum, and one was largely nonverbal for several years. The second was largely nonverbal for several years, and in our case, we were fortunate in that they've both become verbal and are relatively high functioning. But I mean, the thing about one person with autism is that if you've met one person with autism, then you've met one person with autism, and each situation is very different. So best of luck there in figuring out like who this person's going to be at age 5 and 10, etc. I'm sure you're in for at least won't be dull, right? Like that's for sure when you're on the spectrum.
No dull moment in my household ever.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about your former life before crypto. Now, you mentioned that getting into this role as the CMO of JustNFTs is something that's been a very empowering and enabling experience for your life. Let's talk about the Alyssa from before ever getting involved in crypto at all, before you'd even heard about Bitcoin or anything, any of like the big tentpole stuff like Ethereum or whatever else or NFTs. What did you do at that time?
So actually before I got into crypto, I used to work as a legal processing clerk too for Superior Court of California. And then I got sick, unfortunately, and I got diagnosed with MS. So I was a housewife. And then, just had babies and dealt with my babies. And then my husband got hurt, on the job, and crypto just kind of magically showed up. We were looking for another opportunity to like better our lives, and crypto just kind of showed up. And at first, because I have a bachelor's degree in business and I'm used to the traditional stock market, right? So I'm used to the 9 to 5 or 9 to 1 whatever's, and I was just like, okay, I don't understand crypto, because at that time my MS was real bad, and so my husband was trying to teach me about it, and I just kind of learned to love it, and I created a Twitter profile, and there's not many females in this industry, right? So there really isn't. So I just kind of like blew up, and I didn't expect to blow up like I did. And my partner Ryan found me on Twitter, and he's like, "Hey, I'm looking for a marketing person," and I was like, Okay, my degree's not in marketing, but my degree's in business. So I mean, we can give it a shot. And now I'm here.
Okay, that's awesome. All right, so that's the full backstory there. What was the point at which for you kind of decided, like, what did it look like for you, that journey of not just discovering cryptocurrencies and discovering there could be opportunity there, or NFTs, but what was the point of no return for you? When did you know for sure, like, I really can't go back to that 9 to 1 or that 9 to 5? Like, even though crypto and NFTs, it kind of feels like the clock, like the work clock never stops. What was so appealing to you, or what drew you in to the point that you knew, like, I'm never turning back?
I think the point was like, it's so funny because I'm not normally a risk taker, but I think just the high risk and it just like fulfilled me, gave me something to do with my life. You know what I mean? And like, it helped me and my depression and anxiety with the MS and everything. It just gave me a purpose. And then seeing how I was able to get, 5, 6 women onboarded into this space just by myself. And I was like, hey, maybe I can onboard other women, and I started following Crypto Indio. Like she was the first woman that I ever followed. And I met her in person and like we became really good friends. And she pushes me to do stuff, and now I do YouTube, so it's just one of those things that I was once I got into it, I never wanted to look back type of thing because I like the risk, but I also don't like the risk, so it's a double-edged sword, I guess.
Got it. Okay. So I think, Alyssa, what I'm hearing between the lines is that the people really solidified that for you, and then bringing other people in is what's really helping to cement that even more for you, is being there for other people. But especially, it sounds like being a really strong fixed point for other women, the way you saw a really strong woman be a fixed point for you and for others. That's super cool. That sounds like the ideal of mentoring, I think, in business.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
And then when I got asked to speak in Vegas, like Vegas was my first time actually speaking on a panel with other women. And so just that right there was also another like point where I was like, this is where I belong.
That's super cool. Well, I'm glad we had a chance to follow up in Las Vegas, and that we met in at NFT Expoverse in LA to begin with, because I mean, that's the thing. The in real life, I'm going to show in real life events, right? So there's really no replacement, right, for being able to meet people and shake hands and read body language and just be there in a space and be able to like maybe go out after hours and grab dinner with people who you've really vibed with and who you have more to talk about. And yeah, that's just phenomenal. So I'm glad we had a chance to meet that way. I don't think we would have been able to meet and have that personal connection any other way. So that was super cool for me as well. Let me ask you, so we talked about kind of like that, the relationship building and helping other people and having that really strong connection with other people helps cement your interest in the space and get you into the space and really have that direction in crypto and NFTs. But what are some things that you're working on right now? Tell me a little bit about JustNFTs and maybe some of the personal wins and milestones you feel like you've achieved since you've gone in full time.
Yeah. So for JustNFTs, so what we are is we are a business. We're an NFT resource provider. Right now, we're very, very small. We sit on Ravencoin blockchain, and then we sit on Ethereum Classic as well. We've got 3 marketplaces. The marketplace on Ravencoin called Ravenist is our number 1 marketplace. It's closest to OpenSea. So I always point everybody to that one because it's the easiest one to work with. And that's pretty much like what we're doing right now. We're getting ready to start a music site. We're also trying to expand into other blockchains. We are able to work with Web 2 to Web 3, getting an NFT project up off the ground. And we're working on some other stuff that I kind of can't say until they come out. But some personal stuff for me, I do my own YouTube channel, AM Daily Crypto. And I do that with my husband, Xander Coin Mining. That's like my personal win is I created a YouTube account that I do news and stuff like that, and just talk about my role in the space, but also like little projects that are on Ravencoin that can go forward, if that makes sense, and get maybe a little more growth or expansion, because Ravencoin is a fork of Bitcoin, proof of work type of thing. So yeah, that's pretty much just NFTs and me in a nutshell, I would say.
Okay. All right. No, that's great. So yeah, as milestones go to, like being able to do something that contributes to the space, but then also being able to create media, that's a tricky balance. I know it's hard for a lot of creators, but I'm gonna jump out of that conversation really briefly. And my audience knows on Mind Your Biz that I've been tracking Ravencoin pretty much since its launch. And I did consulting for a mining operation, a large scale mining operation at the time that Ravencoin was being launched. In fact, at the time that its mining algorithm was being tested privately, there were some miners or investors who wanted to rent the facility where I was consulting the entire hash rate of that facility to be able to test out the X16R algorithm that it used at that time. So I go way back with Ravencoin. It's been on my radar for a while now, and for me more recently, my thinking has been like, well, I'm not totally sold on Ravencoin as a platform for X, Y, or Z. Help me, somebody who's a little bit skeptical, help me understand like how Ravenist should fit in to the portfolio of the sort of the modern DeFi and NFT investor or speculator. Like, why would I turn my attention to Ravenist if I'm looking at, say, like LooksRare or other platforms? What would be a big draw for me?
I think one of the biggest draws is the community for Ravencoin. Of course, it's really small, but it's really passionate, and we're always growing. I think the other main couple of reasons. One is gas fees are very low on Ravencoin, like sub penny right now. So of course you're not going to have, the Ethereum like crazy hundreds of thousands of dollars. Although I've heard they've come down since merge. I don't know because I haven't really looked here lately.
Yeah, so spoiler alert, they actually haven't come down since the merge. They came down before the merge because people stopped using Ethereum. So the gas fees the marketplace just kind of slowed down. But some days we see them below 50 cents. Right now they're just a little above 50 cents on Ethereum. So, but still, that's nothing compared to under a penny. That's amazing.
Yeah, under a penny, and literally it's for Ravenist, you can create an NFT and we can help you create the NFT, kind of like OpenSea, similar concept. And then it's literally click and buy and sell. And it's very easy. Like if you know how to work OpenSea, you can work Ravenist. And the other number one thing that I would tell somebody who's kind of skeptical is our customer service. There's only 3 of us on the team. So it's me. I'm the chief marketing officer. Ryan Murray, he's our CEO, and Jonathan Wong, who's our CTO, our technical officer. And our customer service, it doesn't matter what time it is. If you need something, our Twitters are always on, our Discords are always on, and we're willing to help you at any point in time. If you need help getting, your NFT up, or you need help depositing or withdrawing, anything like that, our customer service is like crazy good. I would say crazy good in the fact that I've heard OpenSea, sometimes it takes 6 months to get a ticket done. So
yeah.
yeah.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, that right there, that is a pretty amazing thing for sure. So without being weird here, tell me about the Ethereum Classic side, because that's another chain that JustNFTs is getting ready to support or has roadmap for support.
So we actually just launched a marketplace on Ethereum Classic. However, it is more of a decentralized option. So where we essentially just hold the money and transfer to transfer does peer to peer. And once we know that that peer to peer transaction is done, we let the money go essentially. But Ethereum Classic is something that we've been looking at for a while. Again, gas fees are under a penny, and proof of work, and it's very easy to get started with Ethereum Classic. And the Ethereum Classic community is growing daily. Like, it's very small. And what I think our motto is that we're looking at smaller chains to start with as we grow bigger, because smaller chains, if you bring more people on, it gives them the opportunity to come on to that smaller chain and grow into a bigger chain like Ethereum or Polygon or AVAX or anything like that. So getting these artists on a smaller chain, knowing what they're doing, and then moving into a bigger chain. So kind of like giving them that stepping stone, if that makes sense.
Okay, that totally makes sense. That, and right now, I mean, so on crypto Twitter, I'm sure we follow some of the same people, and I had a little bit of an exchange with Mean Hash, who's a notable Twitter guy, and the big concern right now is the potential for Ethereum's status to shift in the eyes of the SEC as being a security. There were previous employees of the SEC who viewed Ethereum as probably not a security, but now that it's gone to proof of stake, well, there's a question mark behind that. Like, is it or is it not a security? So it sounds like you guys are very pro proof of work because of that decentralization and the decreased likelihood of any of these chains being deemed securities. But what's unclear to me is whether or not the SEC is going to decide that because maybe Ethereum is a security, if that means that everything that's launched on it, including NFTs and tokens, that those are securities too, or it's going to be weird to see how that all plays out, right, over the next couple months and or several years. But it sounds like you guys want to steer totally clear of that then.
Yeah. No, right now we want to stay totally clear of that until our team can get a little bit bigger and we can get an investor and some funding behind us.
Awesome. Okay, that's great. Thanks for sharing a little bit about the Ethereum Classic side. It sounds like it's more than an escrow service that you offer as opposed to a marketplace for now. Will that be built out into a marketplace, or is it going to stay more of an escrow service for a while, or are there things you can talk about there?
I think it's going to stay more of like an escrow service for now. Like I said, our team is really, really small. So right now, our number one thing is trying to find an investor. The three of us do not get paid. Like, we do this all for free. So everything that you guys see and we offer, we do everything free. We do not get paid because everything goes back into the business. So right now we're just trying to find an investor, and like long term is we want to do a marketplace like Ravenist on Ethereum Classic. We would love to do a marketplace like Ravenist on Solana or something like that. But we do offer white label service. So if you do like Ravenist, we do offer the option to create your own marketplace like Ravenist.
Wow. Okay. Well, we might have to talk about that after cameras have stopped rolling, because that is definitely cool. But audience, you heard it here first. Alyssa's talking about she's pimping out the team, right, for the white label offering there in terms of getting something. This is primarily UTXO based systems, right? Not Ethereum,
yes.
but Ravencoin, Ravencoin, where you have your NFT is more a function of the OP return than it is like smart contracts. Okay.
Yes.
Very cool. I just wanted to make sure that I was very, very clear on what that means by way of a white label service, because I think that's fascinating personally. Very, very cool. So let me ask, kind of, we're coming to the close of the time we have for the creator highlight interview, but what are some upcoming big dates that we should put on the calendar? You mentioned stuff you're working on in stealth, but are there dates we should look forward to? Are there events or something that we should look forward to where Just NFTs will be a big feature?
So you can find me personally. I will be at Bitcoin 2023 in Miami. I will be repping Just NFTs there, so I will be there. I won't we won't have a booth or be a vendor or anything like that, but I will be there on behalf of the team. We are trying to look at anything NFT in real life events put on. We're looking to be a vendor close to there. We're also looking at a NFT Los Angeles 2023, maybe speaking, not necessarily having a booth, but we will be around as spectators or crowd if you want to see us. And then potential dates, I would say a couple weeks we have big releases coming out. Again, I can't really say because we don't really want to give it away, but I would say a couple of weeks we've got something big going on for Ravenist. We're just testing out some kinks in the system, and other than that, I can't really say too much else without getting in trouble.
Okay, fair enough. Then before I let you go, is there a question that I didn't ask that I should have asked because you guys are in an in-between like stealth and building mode?
No, I don't think so. I mean, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. JustNFTs on Twitter, Ravenist, Ravenist.com on Twitter is what it's called. And then I'm Crypto Lissa. You can find me. Ryan Murray is Ryan Murray 89. And then I don't know Jonathan's Twitter off the top of my head, but if you find JustNFTs or me or Ryan, we are very much more than happy to answer any questions that you guys have.
Okay, awesome. Then I'll have links to all of those profiles in the description of the video when this goes live on Mind Your Biz. Are there any other websites? Are there any other places on the internet or in the Web3 space that people should look for Just NFTs? And if so, what are those places and what should people do when they go there?
So JustNFTs Twitter. We also have a Reddit account, JustNFTs as well. But other than that, not so much. Oh, we also do have Instagram. I take that back. We have Instagram, JustNFTs LLC, and you can follow us and potentially be featured if you do an NFT on our site.
Okay, awesome. Well, audience, you heard the woman. Go to those places, check it out. You can potentially win the opportunity that she just mentioned, but you have to go to the places that she also mentioned. Lucky for you, there are links down in the description, so check those out. Alyssa, thank you so much for your time. I can't wait to see you IRL at Bitcoin 2023 and potentially at some other trade shows in the near future.
Yes.
Yeah.